A season overflowing with unexpected triumphs, emotional returns, and sudden eruptions of raw talent reshaped the entire landscape of women's tennis in 2025, creating a ranking table that looked nothing like the one fans had anticipated when the year began. The WTA circuit evolved into a living organism filled with shocks, miracles, revivals, and breakout stories that unfolded one after another, each more dramatic than the last. The year did not simply elevate champions. It elevated momentum, resilience, and renewed belief. Every athlete who rose more than 30 places carried a story that felt larger than sport itself. And understanding their journeys requires returning to the moments, tournaments, and performances that defined their ascent. A breathtaking resurgence materialized through Belinda Bencic, who produced one of the most emotional and inspiring rises of the entire season. Her journey began far from the bright lights of the tour's biggest venues, starting outside the top 900 after stepping away from the game for maternity leave. The odds against her were enormous, yet she returned with a quiet fire that grew stronger with each match. Abu Dhabi marked the beginning of her revival, where she played with a clarity and confidence that immediately signaled danger for the rest of the field. Tokyo became the site of her next triumph, a WTA 500 title that showcased her beautifully measured aggression as she defeated Linda Noskova in a final overflowing with tension and precision. By the end of the year, her ranking had soared an extraordinary 92 places, leaving her perched at number 11 and marking one of the most impressive comebacks the tour had seen in years. That a rise of almost volcanic magnitude took place through Victoria Mboko, whose leap of more than 330 spots stunned even seasoned analysts. Her breakout season ignited with a run in Montreal that felt impossible on paper but undeniable on the court. She navigated through a brutal draw, toppling Coco Gauff, overpowering Elena Rybakina, outmaneuvering Sofia Kenin, and then conquering Naomi Osaka in a gripping final that electrified the crowd. Her success continued in Hong Kong, where she endured a marathon final lasting nearly 3 hours, surviving waves of exhaustion while producing fearless shot-making under pressure. The 22-match ITF winning streak she carried into the season had already warned the tennis world that she was coming, yet few expected her to arrive with such force and precision. Finishing the year inside the top 20 at number 18, she established herself as one of the most dangerous new threats on the tour, a story soaked in youthful brilliance unfolded through Ivanovic, who transformed herself from an outsider ranked beyond the top 200 into one of the sport's most promising talents. The turning point of her year arrived in Guadalajara, where she became the youngest WTA 500 champion of 2025 at just 17 years old. Her composure under pressure felt astonishing for someone so early in her career, and her tactical intelligence elevated her beyond the boundaries of youthful potential. Before Guadalajara, she claimed the Ilkley WTA 125 title, a win that began shifting expectations and drawing comparisons to past teenage prodigies. Midway through the season, she cemented her place as the youngest American WTA champion since Coco Gauff in 2021, and by year's end, she had risen to the top 35, carrying the aura of a player destined for greatness. A French miracle arrived through Lois Boisson, whose season transformed from quiet ambition into a story that stunned the world. Starting the year ranked 188, she entered Roland Garros as a wildcard positioned at 361, an underdog in every sense. What followed became one of the most shocking Grand Slam runs of the decade. With a combination of fearlessness, creativity, and immaculate ball striking, she pushed through match after match until she stood in the semifinals. Her feat made her the lowest-ranked French Open semifinalist since 1990 and the first wildcard ever to reach that stage in Paris. The magical run continued later in Hamburg, where she captured her first WTA title, proving her Roland Garros performance was not a fluke, but the beginning of a formidable career. By the end of the season, she firmly held her place inside the top 40 and emerged as a beacon of hope for French tennis. A powerful surge defined the year of Emiliana Arango, who climbed more than 130 places to secure a spot inside the top 50. Her season ignited with an 11-match winning streak, including her first WTA 125 title in Cancun, where she dominated with relentless physicality and determination. Her run in Merida showcased her ability to adapt to different conditions, and reaching the Guadalajara final, where she faced the teenage sensation Ivanovic, affirmed her upward trajectory. Her blend of athleticism and composure turned her into a player capable of fighting deep into tournaments, and her final ranking reflected the consistency she displayed across continents and surfaces. That a historic breakthrough shaped the season of Alexandra Ila, who delivered a series of results that placed her into the national record books. Her rise of more than 100 places pushed her into the top 50, but it was the nature of her achievements that captured global attention. Winning the Guadalajara WTA 125 title marked her first big step, followed by a remarkable semi-final run in Miami that stunned the tennis world. The moment that resonated deepest came when she became the first Filipina player to reach a WTA final, a milestone celebrated across her home country. She capped off her season by securing her first Grand Slam match win at the U.S. Open, verifying her ability to compete among the best and solidifying her status as the Philippines' brightest tennis star. At a rapid ascent took shape through Eva Liss, whose season thrived on bold performances and relentless ambition. Even without capturing a trophy in 2025, she delivered moments that shook tournaments and disrupted top players' campaigns. The most stunning highlight occurred in Beijing, where she reached her first WTA 1000 quarterfinal and stunned the world number 10, Elena Rybakina, with fearless aggression and sharp shot selection. The Australian Open brought another milestone as she advanced to the fourth round as a lucky loser, turning adversity into opportunity. Additional breakthroughs, including tight battles with Madison Keys in Cincinnati and victories over several top competitors, propelled her into the top 40 and suggested that her best tennis lies ahead. That a season built on resilience and clutch performances emerged through Maya Joint, who delivered some of the most dramatic victories of the year. Her journey included a strong triumph in Rabat, where she seized the title with commanding play throughout the week. Eastbourne gifted her one of the season's most unforgettable moments when she saved 4 championship points against Alexandra Ayala to secure the title, showcasing a competitive spirit that refused to bow under pressure. Her growing double success, including a title in Rabat, amplified her season and reinforced her versatility. Jumping nearly 90 places by year's end, she delivered a career season that will be difficult for her competitors to overlook moving forward. A long-awaited rediscovery unfolded through Lee, who regained the form that once made her a rising American star. Her season reached its peak when she captured the Guangzhou title, her first trophy in 4 years, a moment filled with relief and renewed belief. 2 more finals, in Singapore and Cleveland, continued her momentum, allowing her to rebuild confidence point by point, week by week. Her aggressive baseline game, paired with greater discipline in rallies, carried her into the top 40 by year's end, marking a full return to the level fans once expected of her. That a moment of ageless brilliance unfolded through Tatiana Maria, who delivered one of the most remarkable results of 2025 at 37 years old. Her triumph at the Queen's Club WTA 500 event shocked the field, as she defeated 4 consecutive top 20 opponents, Machova, Rybakina, Keys, and Fernandez, on her way to the title. Her creative and varied style of play confused and disrupted opponents who were unused to such tactical diversity. Becoming the oldest WTA 500 champion since Serena Williams, she proved that experience and guile remain formidable weapons in an era dominated by power. A rebuilding journey shaped Sofia Kenin's year, as she climbed 58 places through grit, intelligence, and a renewed belief in her ability to compete with the elite. Finals in Charleston and strong showings in Tokyo, Hobart, and Dubai reminded the tennis world of the craft and precision that once made her a Grand Slam champion. Although she did not hoist a trophy in 2025, her resilience in long matches and her strategic court sense kept her inside the conversation throughout the season, culminating in her return toward the top 30. But a dual-strength season defined Veronika Kudermetova-Vova's journey, where both singles and doubles contributed to her rise. Her singles campaign delivered steady WTA performances and a highlight semifinal in Cincinnati, but her doubles season reached explosive heights. Winning both Wimbledon and the WTA finals placed her among the absolute elite in doubles competition. Her consistency and intelligent net play earned respect from peers and allowed her to re-enter the top 30 in singles while continuing to dominate in her second discipline. A thrilling comeback storyline pulsated through Naomi Osaka's season, marking her return to the top 20 and restoring the aura that once made her the most feared hitter on tour. Her first WTA title in over 4 years arrived in St. Malo, a symbolic victory that reignited her competitive flame. She then reached finals in Auckland and Montreal, with the latter producing a gripping showdown with Victoria Mboko that became one of the most talked-about matches of the year. Her semifinal run at the U.S. Open confirmed that she had fully re-established herself among the world's best, proving her power and poise remain unmatched when she is focused and healthy. A surge built on power and discipline emerged through Clara Tauson, who climbed into the top 12 with a season full of deep runs and elite match play. Winning the Auckland title set the tone for her year, followed by her first WTA 1000 final appearance in Dubai. Her stunning streak of 16 match wins before Indian Wells highlighted her physical improvement and mental growth. With her raw power honed by greater strategic discipline, she evolved from an unpredictable threat into a reliable contender who could challenge anyone. That a late-career renaissance illuminated the journey of Laura Siegemund, who at 37 showcased some of the finest tennis of her life. Her Wimbledon quarterfinal run became the centerpiece of her season, highlighted by an upset over Madison Keys that demonstrated her impeccable touch and court intelligence. Her subsequent quarterfinal appearance in Wuhan and various deep runs at the WTA 250 level extended her resurgence, proving that her mix of finesse, net play, and tactical improvisation still holds immense value in a sport increasingly dominated by power. That a season built on consistency defined McCartney Kessler, whose rise of nearly 40 places resulted from precise execution week after week. Her two WTA 250 titles in Hobart and Nottingham showcased her dependable game style, while her victories over top seeds like Bolter Yasta and Elise Mertens validated her growing threat level. Her success in doubles, including a Montreal title alongside Coco Gauff, added another layer to her profile and emphasized her versatility. That a steady climb shaped Jacqueline Christian's season, powered by reliable match-to-match performance rather than isolated bursts of brilliance. Her Puerto Vallarta WTA 125 title highlighted her early form, and her run to the Rabat final demonstrated her adaptability across environments. Wins over big names such as Noskova, Collins, Kudtova, Fernandez, and Kessler showcased her ability to compete deep into tournaments. Her year-end ranking of 39 rewarded her consistency and dedication. A triumphant return closed the season with Amanda Anisimova, who delivered one of the most powerful comeback stories in tennis. Two WTA 1000 titles, Doha and Beijing, returned her to the global spotlight, each victory built on disciplined baseline play and heavy, penetrating power. Her path to those titles included wins over Coco Gauff, Yelena Ostapenko, and Linda Noskova, reaffirming her ability to defeat elite opponents. Wimbledon and the U.S. Open added another chapter to her revival as she reached the finals of both, displaying a mental resolve and strategic maturity that had blossomed throughout the season. Ending 2025 back inside the top 5, she reminded the world of the immense talent that once made her one of the sport's brightest prospects. That a season like this, overflowing with breakthroughs, comebacks, and unexpected surges, sets the stage for an unpredictable and electrifying 2026. Fans now look toward the future, wondering which of these rising stars will continue to climb, who will capture their first major title, and who will reshape the narrative of women's tennis once again. The unfolding of 2026 promises new battles, new rivalries, and new triumphs, all rooted in the unforgettable momentum this remarkable season created.